Oh, this fisherman always greeted people with, "The Lord is my shepherd," and they would reply, "I shall not want." His greetings became so famous that the entire town and village started calling him, "The Lord is my shepherd." He became so well loved that he became more popular than the king himself. This angered the king and his cabinet, who began to plot against him. One day, the king sent his men to invite the fisherman to be the ring-bearer at the king's anniversary celebration. They gave him the ring to keep until the event. The fisherman's wife was hesitant, but he calmed her, and she accepted the ring. They hid it away, waiting for the day to present it to the king. A few days later, the king's men returned and offered the fisherman's wife $100,000 to hand over the ring. She refused, but they increased the offer to $200,000. At this, the wife reluctantly gave them the ring. When the fisherman returned home and went to retrieve the ring, it was gone. He searched the house with his wife, but they couldn't find it. The wife pretended to help, but she knew exactly where the ring was. The day of the king's anniversary was only 3 days away. On the day of the celebration, the fisherman went to the river, knowing his death was imminent. People greeted him with his famous phrase, "The Lord is my shepherd." But this time, he answered with emotion. He reached the river, caught one fish, and decided to cook it alone, wanting to enjoy one last meal before his end. His wife offered to cook it for him, but he insisted on doing it himself. As he cut open the fish, his eyes widened. Inside the fish's stomach was the ring. He shouted, "The Lord is my shepherd!" in astonishment. His wife rushed out to ask what had happened, but he just smiled and hid the ring, saying nothing. The day of the king's anniversary arrived, and the fisherman appeared at the palace, holding the ring. The king and his men were stunned, expecting him to show up without it. The king, furious, turned to his cabinet. "Didn't you take the ring from his wife and throw it into the river?" They nodded, admitting they had done so. "Then how did he have it?" the king demanded. The king's cabinet calmly answered, "We threw the ring into the river, but we don't know how he got the ring back from. Their plan was doomed from the start." The king and his cabinet stood there, utterly humiliated. They had plotted his death, only to be outwitted by the divine. They were shamed, and the fisherman received his promised reward, and he became more famous than ever. Thank God, for life always believed that God's time is the best.